Welcome back to Amy Stadium, opening round of the NAB Cup, and of course 15% of the gate takings for the opening round of the NAB Cup this year going to help those that lost so much during the floods. AFL trying to help local communities that have been affected, try and rebuild some of the venues and footy grounds and help those clubs that were affected. So get to a NAB Cup venue if you can. If you can get down here, there's still 2 games to come. Port Adelaide about to take on Melbourne, and then it'll be the mini showdown, if you like, Port Adelaide and the Adelaide Crows. And don't forget, there's plenty more to come this round as well. Tomorrow night, Collingwood, Carlton and Richmond are in action. On Sunday night, the West Coast Eagles, Fremantle and Hawthorn. And then next Friday night, Essendon, St Kilda and Brisbane. Next Saturday night in West Sydney. Looking forward to seeing the debut of Great Western Sydney and the debut of the Gold Coast. Sydney Swans involved there as well. And next Sunday in Geelong, North Melbourne and the Dogs. If you can get there, 15% of the gate takings go to flood relief.
You can see each and every player is wearing a black armband today. It's in recognition of the passing of perhaps the most unheralded hero that the game has ever had. Gillian Lorraine Lindsay passed away last week. Her celebration or celebratory ceremony was at the MCG today, and it was one of the more moving ceremonies I've been to, Shuri. The speakers were all brilliant. Sad occasion, but a funny occasion. Well, and Jill would have been absolutely delighted with the speeches that in many ways took her to task. She was the butt of a lot of jokes, but just a fantastic contributor to this game, and she would just be delighted the way that this game has grown in her 40 years in the game.
I think she was one of the best people in AFL by a mile, Jurrah. I thought she had a great sense of humour. As you said, she would have probably been laughing at some of those jokes herself today, but yeah, look, it is a tragedy really in a lot of ways. Every time that you talk to Jill, it was just about the game that she loved. She loved the involvement of it, and she loved the being out on the ground doing what she did best, and that's organising this great game of ours for a long period of time. She'll be sadly missed. Yeah,
didn't have a high profile, but no. What a star she was, and a very important force in softball around the country as well. And the speeches made by her close allies today were absolutely first class.
Port Adelaide playing in their first game of the night, so it'll be interesting to see how a team that's fresh goes up against a team that's already played 2 20-minute halves. Does the team that's warmed up and has been going have the advantage over the team that's fresh, or is it the other way around?
Not sure. We're about to find out on the basis of one game or even 10 minutes. Dwayne, I guess we'll be tempted to make a hard and fast rule, but it may change in 24 hours or at least over the next couple of days. But certainly Port Adelaide will have watched Liam Jurrah and said, gee, we better come up with a pretty much a negative plan on him, because if he gets the ball in his hands, we're in trouble.
Well, Jared, I want to ask you, you talk about Aaron Davey. You like to see him play off half-back and run with the ball and use his foot skills. You know, if you're talking about someone like that, what about Daniel Pearce? Would you see maybe utilise him in the pre-season to see if he could do that role instead of being tagged like he was out of the game last year?
I think it's very much a similar situation, sure. I don't think you're ever going to see either of them line up across the half-back line. They'll just get taken out of the play, down to the back pocket, etc. But as high half forwards, I think you're going to see them, particularly for Melbourne, who lack good kickers in defence, pivotal in their season success.
Mitch Banner, quick kick to half forward, slick hands, Dom Cassisi, captain runs to 40 and misses.
Boys, you talked about what the Port Adelaide players are thinking about Liam Jurrah. They're sitting right in the race, which is right near where I'm sitting during that first game, and you should have heard the comments they were making about how exciting Liam Jurrah was. That's about 10 players sitting here talking about it.
Bale, half back.
Well, I reckon you'd be coming into this game if you're with Port Adelaide saying, Melbourne are tired, we know that. We're kicking with a win. Let's blow them out of the water in the first 5 minutes. If they can get 2 or 3 goals on the board, then they can really open them up.
Matthew Bate.
Moving on! Come on!
Thumps it long. Jamar. Redden playing in his first game, and he started in the ruck as well, Jared Redden, so they've shown some confidence in him, Port Adelaide. This is broad bent to Pearce. Cassisi hugging the line. If he's taken out, it's a Melbourne free, and now Bate's taken out, and it's a Port Adelaide free.
Off Melbourne. Last man touch Melbourne.
So if it's the first game you've watched, it's the last man who touches it out of bounds. Free kick to the other team, and Bate took it out there. Westhoff dives, takes the divot.
Didn't really think it through there, Matthew Bate, did he? Just sort of let him have one more roll over the line.
Well, he had to run away from the ball and allow the opposition to grab it.
McDonald, back of the pack, ducks out of one tackle, gets through another. Jurrah, Bartram, dumped after. Free kick downfield to Bate.
Push out.
Inside kick. Sylvia bumped on his long boot forward. Halapate Carlisle with the fist. Lynden Dunn gathers the crumb. Sends the handball wide. Trengove, who can size them up with the left. It's all about the bounce, and the bounce doesn't get any better than that.
Well, Jack Trengove, that was fantastic play, because you'll see when he does get this ball, Dwayne, he was going to snap a goal early, but then had the poise to just take a couple more steps. Well done to Lynden Dunn. Just release the ball. Have a look here. Look first, have a look. Maybe try and chip it over the centre corridor. He saw the player was coming up with Jurrah up the ground.
Yep.
That is very smart play, to have that poise, not under a lot of pressure, but know his position out in the ground.
And Lynden Dunn will be pleased to get his hands on the ball. He played in the opening game, but struggled to get near it after having a really good season last year. I think Colin Sylvia also, and Brent Maloney there too, that would want to get some more footy. But for the first kick for the season, for a bloke in his second year, it's a pretty handy one.
So dueling Trengoves was got out there at the moment. This is Port Adelaide's Jack Trengove about to go at the ruck contest. And up against him will be Jake Spencer, who was the super sub in the opening game for Melbourne, so he's still fresh. Spencer and Trengove down to Sylvia. 360 tackle, got out of it. Rivers.
Nice
to half forward.
Spencer.
Dunn. To his own advantage. Tried to take a few with him. Maloney, slick hands. Jetta. Jurrah. And that's a fist out of play, so no free there. It'll be a ball in.
Now that's the importance of Lynden Dunn. The way that he led up to the ball then, and when the ball went away from him in the first initial contest, he dived the ball, got his fingertip to it, kept the contest alive for Melbourne. That's how they got this ball inside 50.
Trengove beats Jamar. Can't get it out decisively though. Sylvia gives it back to Jackson Trengove. Thomas handballs it up. Big tackle laid, unfortunately for Jared Irons. First gamer couldn't get away with it initially. Broad bent, slick hands inside. That's Hitchcock and Josh Carr's old number 2. Irons, Westhoff, and a little bomb forward by Mitch Banner. Chad Corns knocked it down, and that'll be a Melbourne free. It's off Paul Stewart, so a Demons ball.
And Mitch Banner, unfortunately for Port, missed Daniel Pearce, who was about 5 metres out wide and would have run through and almost had a shot at goal.
Move it on! Play on!
Martin sits it up a little. Trengove and Jamar. Trengove with the fist. Daniel Pearce with the kick he was hoping to get a few moments ago. Stewart couldn't take the mark. Goes again, gets a crumb, gives it up. Mitch Banner, who, as we said earlier, would have been better off doing that.
Nice little snap there from Mitch Banner to make up for the earlier little toe poke. Here's Daniel Pearce. He got it in nice and quick. And a little bit of a fumble there from the Demons. And an intuitive snap round the corner. Sure, that's a good goal.
Well, he averages half a goal per game. He's kicked 5 in his 10, so he sort of knows where they are, Jurrah. That's only early in his career. But I just think he's got an understanding as a small crumbing forward. So he finished off brilliantly there. Jared River, just that fumble at the inopportune time.
He's changed his number over summer as well. Mitch Banner, he was 31 last year. He's moved to 11. Had a little ringer-rosy with the numbers at Port Adelaide. Marlon Motlop, who was number 11, has taken Nathan Cracker's old number 7. If you're confused by that, we're fully understanding.
Play on!
Banner in there again. Cassisi breaks free with it. Thomas spears that to half forward, and a perfection pass to Motlop, who takes off as only Daniel Motlop can. Gives it back again. This is Marlon Motlop, so the cousins working well. Westhoff off hands. And that should be a ball up. It will be.
Chad Gawn's lining up at full forward. Jurrah was one of the outstanding defenders earlier in his career, went into a midfield role, but looks like he's going to play key position up forward, I guess, at the end of his career.
Ducked under it.
So that could be holding the ball. The umpire said you ducked. Sometimes if you duck, you don't get the benefit of the doubt.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that, because I think he was a lot of sides were working him over a bit as a defender. If you just say to Chief, we want 2 goals from you and to be a very defensive player in the forward 50, that's all you expect from him for the whole season. 40-odd goals a year, he does pretty well.
McDonald got that handball out. Jurrah couldn't pick it up initially. Bumped off it. Danger signs here. Unable to pick it up was Lucas Cook, the first gamer for the Demons. And that's a free kick against Davey for too high. So Lucas Cook wearing the number 21. Picked 12 in last year's draft for the Demons. Their first pick, getting a taste early. But this is Paul Stewart.
He can kick a football.
And he keeps it low, and Westhoff can't take the mark. It's hit the behind post. It'll be a ball in.
It's in a marking contest.
So in the marking contest, went out of play. The Demons players wanted a free, although they haven't read the rules, or they're just trying to make out they didn't know that it was in a marking contest, so it's a ball in. Back into play. Redden trying to work Jamar over. Westhoff socketed off the deck while he was there.
Good hands.
Jetta to Davey, as Jared said, good hands. And the man I just spoke of, Lucas Cook, getting a touch again to Sylvia. Shoots it wide. They've looked okay, the Demons. Marek gets it back again. Look away handball from Jetta to Bennell. He tried similar. Cook, third possession in this string. Davey gets it back. Marek, half forward. They've worked this brilliantly. So Jetta, who set it all up from the start. Back to Marek. And now wide to Watts, who takes a strong grab and looked okay early in game 1. Jack Watts.
That was his third lead then, Dwayne. He really worked hard on that because the ball switched a number of times in midfield, but he just finished off on the third lead, turned his player around. It's exactly what I still think. He looks like he at times he can be a little bit slow, but you know he's quick off the mark when he's for his size. Again, he looks like he just well, he's certainly like all players. Good pre-season. I think he can play this kid.
18 games now. He's the only #1 draft pick in the last 12 years not to get a NAB Rising Star nomination, Jack Watts. So that confirms that he's been a little slower to develop than most #1 draft picks. But the last man that did that was Des Hedlund. He ended up a premiership player.
Stay out, thanks, Tom.
So
Tom. Stay out, mate.
Jack Watts
Play on.
might get a premiership. Demons are on the rise, if they can keep all their players, by the way. And if you're wondering, Tom Scully not playing in either game tonight.
Didn't have it.
Free kick to Jamar.
You're going to take it if you're going to take it.
In fact, was Scully injured, Jared, or just rested?
No, injured. Saw him actually walking outside the footy ground today, and I think he's got a bit of a knee problem.
Okay, well, that's bad news for the Demons on the back of the bad news this week. Trengove inside 50. Now push out, Lynden Dunn will get the free. Westhoff took the mark, but Lynden Dunn's ball. And let's hope he has another big year, Lynden Dunn. It's his 7th year on the list.
That's your angle, Lynden.
Took a while to prove his worth, but improved out of sight in 2010.
Got a cracking moustache as well.
Yeah, aren't you supposed to shave those off after November?
Stay out, thanks on the side.
To give the Demons the lead. And if you have joined us late, the Demons won the opening game against Adelaide by 10 points. So they win this, and they are automatically through to the second round of the NAB Cup. And that's a perfect start again.
While you're at that end, whoever's just playing on Dunn...
Nice kick into the wind, just kept it low.
Whoever's playing
Let's
on
just
Dunn,
have a listen here.
Just give them a gentle warning about prohibited contact off the ball.
Taking it or not, so.
See, that's good. You can just hear the umpire then
You don't have to take it. So it's fine.
say to the other umpire, just tell that player why that free kick was given. That is exactly what umpires should be doing.
The 20 seconds and then telling him 20's gone.
That is fantastic umpiring if we can educate the players and be part of the game, but do it the right way on the quiet, with a bit of quiet nature. I think that's sensational umpiring.
And that's Pittard, first gamer for Port Adelaide with the job on Lynden Dunn. So big task for Jasper Pittard. And the ball up.
Article about Jasper Pittard in the paper today. Dwayne, he came into the club at 70 kilos, came back from training at 80, but they put him in the fat club. He definitely, even as a skinny little runt, he'd come back a little bit overweight.
Logan, Cassisi, Carlisle, hacks it straight down the middle. Might be coming back. Stephen Martin, now here's a good story. Ebert back from a last reconstruction, and he's looking as lively as ever. Lays a tackle, and he'll be happy to get back into the action. It's his first game back from that Lars ligament replacement, and they'll have to ball this up. So a good news story there. And you're a big advocate for the Lars for players, Jurrah?
Well, I think they're a vital part in AFL football. I know some surgeons are just 100% against them, some medicos 100% against them, but we've just seen a number of success stories. I know that David Roden's had one fail, but I've seen millions of ACL normal repairs fail. So there's a couple of pretty good results so far. Not for everybody, but certainly for some.
Dunn to green. Here's Pittard, the man you spoke of. He lost a bit more over summer as well, Jurrah. He lost a name. He was drafted as Jasper McMillan Pittard, but I think just due to evolving family circumstances, shall we say,
50-metre penalty.
He's now Jasper Pittard, no McMillan. And a free kick takes in, so it's not a completely different player that Port drafted a couple of years ago. It's the same one.
A couple of pre-season, they came back 10k overweight, and I thought I looked all right, Jurrah.
Stewart, this one
to Pearce, and it's a long ball in the model op direction. He marks it, and he takes off. And can he kick a miracle goal? Not quite. Grimes got there on the line.
Smart player, Grimes. He knew exactly what Daniel Motlop was going to do. He covered it off nicely, got down low in case it skidded underneath him, and saved 5 points.
Massive year for Daniel Motlop, I think, for this club. Massive year.
Well, they tried to trade him, and not many clubs were interested, and he's had a couple of court appearances over summer as well, Daniel Motlop. So, gee, he'll be hoping for a better year than last year in more ways than one.
Oh, turnover.
And might be made to pay. Hitchcock got the handball out. Westhoff a little slip. Scoots it up. Banner has already kicked one. Decides not to line up. Ebert, Hitchcock, and they let Strauss knock the ball out, knowing that it was going to be a free. And James Strauss just not aware of the rule there. And Thomas can have a shot at goal. Matt Thomas.
Ready where you are?
In fairness to James Strauss, I mean, I think he thought they were both going to go for it.
Well, that's the issue.
We'll take possession, Pickers. And that's a big 9-point bow, and it's through. They've worked it beautifully. The first 9-pointer of the night, and the Lars looks okay.
Yeah.
It's a great kick. Good to see the 9-pointer finally getting a run, Shuri. We like the 9-pointer. In fact, we love it.
Well, I tell you what, Jurrah, what about a couple of years ago where we both talked about the kicking ability of Brett Ebert, and you came up with a stat where you said that he wasn't a great converter. And I always thought he was a good kick, though, but you're right, the stat said that. That's a bit different from that angle where you just put it on and just go bang, because you knew that he's a left footer, could come across his body and finish like that. But those stats were correct there. I always thought I was pretty happy with the way he kicked the ball, but he missed the ones that you thought he should have got.
Well, he's a good converter, but he's not a great converter for mine. And I think he's got another level to go up. And even at his age, I think there's still plenty of footy left in Brett, and hopefully he achieves it.
The hard part for him is that his father was arguably the greatest South Australian we've ever seen. So it always makes it tough for a son coming off that kind of career. Sylvia short and long enough, and the mark's been taken by Lucas Cook.
1 metre back, please. 1 metre. That's it.
Pick 12.
That's a mark.
Melbourne's
6 points.
first pick.
6 points, mate.
Just the 6 points, even if he kicks from outside 50, because he marked it inside 50.
Don't even think about kick the handballing here, son. Take it on yourself. First kick, first goal, just do it.
From Hopeton and North Ballarat. Strikes it nicely, didn't bend it back enough, and play on, and it's not touched through, and it's taken out by Salter. It's Melbourne's ball.
I think you'll see Lucas Cook kicked some pretty big goals. He was renowned in the under-18 competition as a really accurate kick, either off half-back or half-forward.
Jurrah across the body here, Jurrah.
The big man has kicked it out and full over the other side.
Never in doubt, Jurrah.
You could have picked that before you even thought about it, I would think.
So here it is again. Salter. Well, that was out before he touched it, wasn't it? In a marking contest. Gee, he might have been a bit unlucky there. If you have just joined us, if the ball goes out of play, the last man to touch it concedes a free kick to the opposition, unless it's in a marking contest or in a smother. Not well done. Takes them on, sends it long. Corns of the Chad variety. Bounced unkindly initially. He was grabbed, he was slung, and he misses. Out of play on the full.
You hear that crowd noise? That wasn't Melbourne supporters being very happy about Chad Corns. It was actually the Crows supporters. They hung around for the Crows game, and they're just giving Chad a little bit of lip service.
Well, he's not their favourite. Made his debut in a showdown. He's the big showdown player, Chad Corns. Oh, dangerous, but okay. Bale. Here's the bail out. And here's the dangerous kick to Jurrah. Missed him. Logan. Logan's got a couple of options. Broadbent lets Stewart go for it, and then Broadbent sharks it and goals. That worked to plan.
Turnovers across that half-back line are going to be, well, they've always been damaging, but in this era of zone defences, it just is so debilitating. And this one just quickly straight back in, hit it to a tall target. Good defensive spoil from the attacking player, and a classic bit of roving. We don't see that all that often these days, Shorey, but Broadbent did it magnificently.
No, and I think some of the Melbourne defenders, I think it was Rowan Bale who turned that ball over. One thing about the Melbourne side, they love playing the corridor, but gee, to kick the ball 40 metres and keep it in the air that long, you've got a chance of getting a fist or a defensive fist into it. That was kicked straight to the opposition.
And for Crow fans, you're not out of it. If Port Adelaide beat Melbourne in this game, then Adelaide, with a big win over Port Adelaide in the third game, can advance to the second round. So this has a fair bit of importance for all three teams, not just the two playing. Martin wide. Sylvia up against the line. And Trengove, strong hands in opposition to Trengove. Floats it up. Green, and that'll be a Port Adelaide ball.
Port Adelaide. Greeny, hold there, hold, Greeny, hold.
Carlisle. Trengove of the Port variety.
The call's gone out, boys, just to slow it all down. See if we can milk the clock till half-time.
So 90 seconds to half-time in this game too. Floats it up. Cassisi off hands. Shuffles a half handball out. Joel McDonald. Jurrah, Davey. Jurrah got one too high. Davey play on advantage. Marrick, Green. Well worked, Melbourne. I can smell a late score. Jetta. Short. Jurrah. Free kick. Up the mark. Jurrah short again. Marrick. It's been okay in both games. Down to 60 seconds. Backtracks and gets everybody on his side into a massive trouble. Pittard. Touch play on. Hitchcock thumps it long. Now, will it bounce through? It doesn't. It bounces across the face, and that'll be a Melbourne ball one way or the other.
Well, they want to get this back quick, Melbourne, and play on as exactly like they did.
Okay, Rivers. Dangerous. And a big hit, Cassisi. I think he caught mainly ball there. That'll be a free, but not a report, you wouldn't think. This is Daniel Nicholson.
This is a courageous bit of play from Daniel.
Yeah, first game, so you want to try and impress the coach. That's one way of doing it. Handballs to Watts. Time starting to tick down. 20 seconds. Back to Watts. Heads wide, Bartram. Not held. Short again. Try and just maintain possession. Sylvia, now they need a mark. Dunn's down there. Use the body. Bate, third man up.
Great use of the corridor. Just they kept persevering to get the ball in the corridor by quick hands. Looked like they overused the ball. But again, Colin Sylvia's penetration, once he gets the ball, set this mark up the Bate.
Well, Lynden Dunn speared his in pretty low, kept it pretty much under about half goalpost height. And if he can hit it sweetly and keep it low, shouldn't have any troubles with the distance.
To cut it to 4 points, and he does hit it like a sweet kiss. Straight over the goal umpire's hat. Half-time in game 2. Still to come, Port Adelaide and Adelaide at the conclusion of this one. But the Demons having won game 1 against Adelaide by 10 points, trail by 4 at half-time against Port Adelaide.
The bloke who really got him going that first half for the Demons was Sylvia. He struggled early in the early game, Shuri, but he exploded in that quarter.
Kicking penetration, Jurrah, when he gets it, he's a very intelligent player and kicks the ball a long way.
And you'd reckon with Liam Jurrah down there and kicking with a pretty significant wind, that long kick is going to be their first choice, given that they've got probably a fair bit more fatigue to concern them than Port Adelaide.
So first gamer, Jared Redden, picked 24 back in 2008 into the ruck for Port Adelaide. It's his 3rd season on the list. But Port reportedly as happy as they possibly could be for a guy that hasn't played a game yet. He's developed well and he's up in the ruck against Jamar. He wins the palm down Redden and gets it down to his captain. Even better. Corns, good grab. Now that's on 50. So this won't be 9. Sends it long. Motlop's in the box seat here and protects Westhoff well.
Sticky hands. Jared Rivers is one of the better spoilers in the game, either by left or right fist. But he just didn't quite get near it enough there, and it was a very sticky fingered mark.
I reckon a year ago, Daniel Motlop would have gone for the big screamer there.
Well, Dwayne, you say that. Daniel Motlop came off the bench really late and moved into that area just late too. So, as he shot a goal, no good.
Just miss.
I think that was a set play or a setup where they just thought, we'll leave a player off. He came from the bench late, and the Melbourne defenders didn't know who to pick up. That's why Motlop was right there. But you are right. I think he's playing not just for his career, but also a bit of respect this year, Daniel Motlop.
Once again, a slow exit, but the long bomb. It's a pretty smart play for mine.
And the leapers do go up this time. Cook, first gamer for the Demons, does well. Bate to Jurrah. Port Adelaide lead by 5 points. Melbourne could grab the lead back. Low, Davey, goal square, post. Instead of 9, it's 1.
Now that is a set play. That is a set play from the full-back line to the centre to knock the ball on. Love to see it.
So instead of taking the lead there, the Demons, they still trail. Play on. Gee, that was tough. Very, very tough on Daniel Nicholson, the debutant from East Point. Welcome to footy, young man. That was hot.
Thank you. That's it,
Matt Thomas. Pearce. Corns. 24 plays 20.
Empty forward line. Look at that wind holding it up.
And
he did really well at the front of the pack there.
Banner quick to Hitchcock. Little wobbler toward full forward. Westhoff lurking again. Gets it back again to Hitchcock, who got pushed as he kicked. That'll be a free. He could take the behind if he wanted to. He gets that offered to him, but Cameron Hitchcock will get another kick, with Port Adelaide currently leading by 4 points.
Well, he emerged early last season. Played some terrific football in the early months of the year, but then he went missing to some degree, injuries and the like. He's a player that can have an impact for mine, sure.
Industrious, sure.
Yes.
Makes the goal umpire do some work there, and he'll have to be a little more industrious than that, the known goal kicker. That was a poor miss. He's changed numbers over summer as well. Cameron Hitchcock from 45 last year to Josh Carr's old number 2 this year. They've washed the blood out and given it away. That number 2 jumper. Marek tackled.
Well,
Thomas.
Handballed again to somebody under pressure. He's got some issues with his decision making, Marek.
Pearce gives it back again. Pettigrew. And it's a poor attempt at a grab. No mark paid, of course. It was John Butcher, another first gamer for Port Adelaide, who gets a little aggressive with the tackle now. John Butcher, he's disappointed with that because marking's his forte. First game for the club.
The ball's holding up, Dwayne. He probably wants to take it in front of his eyes, but then tried to take a chest mark because it held up in the air.
Sylvia with the free for in the back. So played 4 minutes, 20-minute halves, of course, so still 16 minutes to go in this one. And Port Adelaide lead by 5 points. Demons won the game earlier. This is the second of the 3 games. Port Adelaide and Adelaide still to play tonight. Garland, good tackle from Ebert, holding the ball, and this will be for 9, and he's already got a 9. He's already kicked one.
Westhoff.
Yeah, Westhoff centering, disciplined kick.
Beautiful kick.
Oh, that was a good kick, because I don't think he would have kicked it outside 50 the way the ball's been holding up.
It's great tackling pressure, though. He just got inside Garland's head, and Garland just gave the ball away. Needed to make a cleaner decision and get the ball away.
Big kick this for his confidence as well. Kicks it from outside 50, but it'll only be 6.
Still
and it's only going to be 1.
Nobody helping it across the line for the power. I think they all assumed it was going to go through, but then it lost a bit of velocity, hit the wall, and dropped straight on Jamar's head.
So Port Adelaide lead by 6 points.
Oh.
Terrible turnover again. Salter attacked it well played by Jetta, got it away. Joel McDonald. Little sidestep. Westhoff corrals him, takes him to the line, and that's going to be... Was that going to be Melbourne's ball?
That's off Kasushi.
I don't think the umpires are certain here. If it's not certain, it'll be a ball in. Okay, so ball in. Neither umpire certain.
I don't mind that, because I thought Dominic Kasushi might have got away with one there, Dwayne, where really didn't have a lot of influence on the play.
So ball in on the wing. Jamar, Trengove, Kasisi ducked into that tackle and got the benefit. Quickly up to Stewart. Floats it up long. Rivers, the flyer, had a good piece of it. Okay, Chad Corns ran into him. No attempt at the ball. Jared Rivers. Green, the new captain. Gee, put Trengove under immense pressure there. Got out of it. Watts, little don't argue push off on Hitchcock. That was brilliant.
Great kick.
Bale. And just a little out of the reach. Spencer goes back in. Jack Spencer did okay there. Green. Floater. Inside 50. Bate knocked it down. Stewart read it well. Carlisle. Stewart. Short option. And couldn't hit the target.
Well, no one want to pick this up. No, he did it well.
He did it brilliantly in the end, Daniel Stewart. Broad. Bent. High kick to half forward from Marlon Motlop. Off the hands of Nicholson. Daniel Motlop, Chad Corns.
I think we're just seeing a little bit more athleticism, Shuri, out of the side that's only played 2 quarters, or nearly 2 quarters, and the side that played nearly 4.
Kasisi worked hard there. Get into the pocket, and he'll shoot it goal with Port Adelaide leading by 6.
Now, Pickers, you were down on the ground in between games, and was there a suggestion that there was a muttering coming out of the umpiring area that perhaps they weren't overly thrilled with the boundary line rule?
Are you talking the players or the umpires themselves?
The umpires themselves.
Well, there's just so many contentious ones, isn't there? The ones where you think, well, who did it hit last? So it's just not clear cut.
Across the face from the captain, Dom Kasisi. Port Adelaide, as a club, formed back in 1870. So they've got a bit of history on their side, and they're the only club in the AFL that has the captain doing the old-fashioned thing and wearing the number 1.
Tell you what, it's a great jumper they've got as well, Dwayne. It's their second year, and it's a beauty.
It is a beauty, and it's selling pretty well. So they love it. Grimes wide. Flyers go up. Now, that's a marking contest, so no free here. Demons trying to claim it, but once again, either they didn't read the rule or Jack Watts trying to fool the umpires.
Once again, another set play kick in where Melbourne gets the fullback to play on in the back pocket. Shepherd's off the man on the mark. Get another 15, 20 metres.
Redden doing well in the ruck contest. He palmed that down beautifully to Thomas, who won himself a free kick, gives it off to Pittard. And Westhoff on the end of a perfect pass. Now this will be for 6. He doesn't go for it. Over Ebert's head. Rivers, trouble, pushed a little. No free. Hitchcock threw it out. Melbourne free.
Jared Rivers! Jared Rivers, short kick. Closest player.
So Jared Rivers will be told to go and take this. Sam Blease was hoping for an easy possession. Gets one. Dumps it long. Watts with 3 to beat. Almost a free there. Back of the pack. And that's difficult for Jurrah, but Jetta obviously knew Jurrah was good enough to get out of trouble. Puts the afterburners on. Brad down, gets his own smother. Handball away, get it back again. Trengove, Bale. Jurrah still waiting for it. Bale from the pocket. Sits it up in the square. Bates down there. Carlisle can't take this out. Knows it. He can knock it off Bale if he wants to. Bale's handball just past Burnell. Logan gave it up just in time and put Adelaide get out of trouble. Redden hacks it wide and Westhoff a little toe poke. Clever initially. Cook. Sylvia. That's for 6 as you heard. But it's only 1.
Tell you what, Jurrah, there may be some negatives, but there's also some positives with that rule, because that was really exciting football when Adapati Carlisle had to keep the ball in play, and Bate came across. There was a turnover. It's got some positives. Whether it can ever work, I'm not sure.
A few positives in this stanza of play too with Jurrah.
Yes.
And that's a marking contest, so no free.
Marking contest.
Chad Corn's trying to fool the umpire. They've been good tonight, and there's plenty of them. 6 of them being rotated. Back into play. Thomas has missed it. So holding free kick. Burnell will take it.
Just get it into Jurrah. He's the one-man jumping machine. Not many.
Yeah, it's top of the square. It's 1-on-1 still.
Here he is. He can't get near it, Jurrah, because it's through for a behind.
Well, that's a kick you hate as a forward, really, don't you? You even though you're going to make the distance easy and go for goal. I don't think he knew it then, but otherwise it's got to be 5 metres on top of the 10-metre square.
Jamie Burnell wearing Brad Miller's old number 7 this year, after wearing 43 last year. One of the many players who've changed over summer for a smaller one. And that's an ugly kick. Misses Corns altogether. Free kick to Spencer. And he kicks it straight to Westhoff almost. Trengove. Well-measured pass in the end. Sylvia thumps it up. He's hoping for Jurrah. Can't get there for the jump. And Watts with the pluck.
Well, they got some timber up there. Jurrah, Jamar and Jack Watts. And they all went to Jamar, and Watts was smart enough to read that. And he was the one left unattended. This was just a centimetre perfect kick to borrow a line off one of our commentators.
Just read it well, didn't he?
He did. 3 defenders. They're all worried about the man, not worried about the football.
To give the Demons the lead. And just repeating, they won the earlier game, so Melbourne wins this game against Port Adelaide. They'll be through automatically to the 2nd round of the NAB Cup. Needed to slot that, did slot it, and the Demons are in front.
Well, he just read it beautifully then. Did Jack Watts, as I said earlier. I think it's an amazing thing when he wasn't brought up really through the normal system, Jerry. He came up through the school system. He still had to find a body, didn't he? And he still doesn't look big enough to play key position, but I think he works hard in the game. He leads up. He loves to play in front. On that occasion, he just read that better than his opponent. And his opponent's only a youngster in O'Shea, of course, Cameron O'Shea. But, yeah, they have got some tall timber in their forward line, which is going to take them a fair way, you'd think.
I'll tell you what, Jurrah.
Yes.
If you had a behind the goals camera or some vision on Jack Watts, you'd see how smart his leading's been all night, really. His work rate's been outstanding. This sort of vision here, if you had it focused on Watts, his diagonal and his cutting leading has been terrific.
Well, he read 3 times when he had that last kick at goal down the other end, Liam. You're right. I love the way that he does it. And that lateral movement gets a lot of defenders off out of balance.
Tom McDonald with a free. Another first gamer making his debut in the Melbourne jumper. Strange Melbourne jumper though it is. Sends it to full forward. Watts flies. Westhoff up there again. And the tackle laid by Cameron O'Shea. We're in the number 13 for Port Adelaide. Also playing in his first game for the jumper. Pick 52 of last year's draft. Watts from ruckwork. Pittard, little toe poke. Stewart. Straight through Grimes. Corns and McDonald attacking. Green read it well. From 50. Thumps it to full forward. And it hits the behind post. Out of play on the full. Port Adelaide's ball.
He's an interesting one, Grimes, Shorey. There's a view, I think, that he's going to play midfield, but I think he adds to that ability in defence for the Demons. He is a really good thinker and he's a pretty good kick. And if you take him away, it exposes that issue for the Demons. You put him back down there, all of a sudden they've got a guy that makes good decisions.
I think that's their weakness. They're kicking out of their defence, and you just do not want to weaken that at all with personnel.
Bartram back in the Jurrah direction. Can he get a jump? He did, but he left it behind. Pittard. It's a one-point game. He didn't want to rush it through. Port Adelaide have the players breaking. This is Marlon Modlop. He can't get there. It was meant for Marlon Modlop, but Grimes got back and took the grab.
There's no hurry here. He's panicking, looking for something that may not be there.
Davey knows. More experienced head.
He can kick the distance here, Dwight.
Go for 9. He's loading up. It's long, but it's very inaccurate. And that's the difference. Sometimes you go for the extra to go for 9 instead of being content with driving it through carefully for 6. 2 points the margin. If you've joined us late, Melbourne won game 1 against Adelaide, so they win this and they are through to the second round of the NAB Cup. Port Adelaide win this little battle here with 4.5 minutes to go in the second half, and it'll all come down to the Port Adelaide game after this. High. Melbourne with the numbers up. Off hands, Grimes has had a fair bit of it. Bartram. Maloney. Check Corns. He was sweating off there, knowing it was coming. Cassisi couldn't get it out. Bartram dragged down. Davey off the deck. Big hip and shoulder, but he rode that beautifully, McDonald. Burnell. 50 from goal, shoots it back again. Davey, it's for 6, or it'll be a mark. Jurrah's down there. Should goal this from there. Oh, he's brilliant. What a beautiful smile to go with it.
And the cheering from the Crow supporters is absolutely phenomenal tonight, Shorey. When they saw that go through to stick it up Port Adelaide, they thought it was better than the Crows kicking a goal.
And I think they just appreciate this man's ability, isn't it? They did that well through the midfield there. They just kept the ball alive, some quick hands, and that was Green. Nearly took the mark, but that's still a hard snap. That wasn't an easy snap. No. Nearly the width of the boundary post away from goal. Liam Jurrah. We can have some fun time calling him this year.
Get the feeling it's going to be difficult getting a handball off Liam round goals as well. But
I don't care.
He's exciting everybody when he has a crack.
I'll tell you what he is, boys, is he's going to give someone a real nice little chop out in the Melbourne forward line, because he attracts the crowd when he goes. He's all of a sudden starting to have 3 or 4 blokes just looking what he's doing.
And I reckon he's going to give someone a nice old headache from a knee right in the back of the scone when he goes for one of those marks.
Port Adelaide a super goal away from the lead. Thomas, Jamar pushed in the back.
Such an important player for the Demons, Jamar.
8 points the margin. Demons win this, they advance to the second round. 2.5 minutes to play. Sylvia, good attack. Good attack from Bate as well, and he's hurt. And he's still down. Westhoff. Now Redden's just on, and he's on his own. Westhoff spins around Jamar. Thumps it long. Ebert in the spot. Oh, big pluck. Garland came from nowhere. And that could be the game. Trengove. Bartram. A behind would win this for Melbourne. Sends it to half forward to Bate. Bale back of the pack and seal the deal. Gathers. A behind will do. And that's what he gets.
What a rebound. Well done to Garland. That ball's holding up a long way, because Ebert nearly had the run in there, but he didn't read the play or read the ball holding up. A great rebound from Melbourne.
So a win and a half would get Melbourne through to the second round, because it's not just the 6 round robin winners, it's the best 2 other teams as well. So a draw here would be a draw. It wouldn't be extra time. Wouldn't be a replay next week. And that's a free kick. Last man out of play. Port's ball. So it's 9 points the margin. 1 minute 40 left.
You've come in.
Chad Corns to fly. Goes a little late. Spencer knocks it down. Burnell. And that's taken out by Marlon Motlop. So Melbourne ball. And once again, they can take some seconds off here. Grimes, if he's wise to it, has got to kick backward if he wants it. Doesn't want it. Redden caught behind. Goes with a fist. Splendid tackle. Dragged down. Watts. Burnell. Sends it long, hoping for Jurrah, but he's not down there. Logan gets back. Bate. Too good for them. Can give the handball up. Does give it up. Jetta. No free. Knocked away. Gee, they could have sealed it right there. Port Adelaide still a chance. Meyer. Ebert. 1 minute left. 9 points the margin. They need a super goal. Will they be aware of it if they get it just outside 50? Marlon Motlop. 2 to beat. Tough ball to win. Boundary line, of course, not his friend. He can't take it out.
It's against the Demons.
He rolled it off the foot there of James Strauss. So Marlon Motlop, he needs to get a pass just outside 50. Corns flies, and once again, solid hands from Colin Garland.
That probably just about does it, Dwayne. So in a week where Melbourne have had headlines for all the wrong reasons, they've started really impressively.
Absolutely. It'll be 2 wins for the Demons. Unless there's a late turnover, and Sylvia should mop up as many seconds as possible. Goes inboard. Jake Spencer.
They're covering. Blood.
So Melbourne will advance from this game. It's just a matter of whether Port Adelaide or Adelaide can be one of the lucky losers percentage-wise. But a fantastic start to 2011 for Melbourne, and they are spent. Their night is over, and it's over with 2 victories. Started off with a 10-point win over the Adelaide Crows, Melbourne, and they've beaten Port Adelaide by 9 points. Still to come, Port Adelaide and Adelaide playing off to try and be one of the lucky losers. The 2 lucky losers will go through to the second round. But it's all about the Demons, guys, and they're pretty impressive.